Our go date is in 3 days, the night of the debate. Now, all of our work is worth nothing if we don't move this money and fast. The notebook says $5 million. That's exactly the amount of money Mulligan was accused of taking in commission kickbacks. So over here we have $2 million. 20 Tupperware boxes, each box has $100,000 in $100 bills. It weighs 44 pounds. Now over here we have $2 million. 40 Tupperware boxes, each box has $50,000 in $50 bills. It weighs 88 pounds.
I feel like I'm in school.
Tell me about it.
We gotta start thinking like professionals. We're in business together. There's not gonna be some cozy reunion. After this job, we're done. We have 3 days to look and move like a team of men. The best thing we have going for us is being who we are.
Why?
Because no one thinks we have the balls to pull this off.
Welcome back to our Humble San Diego podcast. This is episode 261, Wild is the Wind, and I am your host, Swan. Alongside me this week, we welcome back Susie Soto and Chris Pawlak. How are you both?
I am really tired today, so my brain is like mush right now. I hope I can give you a good show.
And I'm disappointed in this hijacker being here.
I asked you if it was cool if I could be on.
I'm just kidding.
I checked with you.
I'm just kidding.
No, it'd be funny if you and I hijacked the show and then Wesley didn't say anything.
Just us talking shit all the time. It was just like, great.
Okay, with that being said, so this week we open up March, aka Women's History Month, with a review for Steve McQueen's 2018 film WIDOWS. But first, let's warm up with some of our usual intro segments.
And now for a special news report. Brought to you by Drop the Mic.
I have none.
Okay.
This was an unexpected drop-in.
And I always get confused about your pop culture news.
So
none.
Okay, well I have a few pieces.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it'll be short and sweet. First up, director of the Batman, Matt Reeves, has confirmed that a sequel and a Catwoman spin-off are already being discussed with Warner Brothers. Any thoughts about this?
I think it was given that there would be a sequel to the movie anyways. It's a franchise thing. It's not like it's just going to be a one-off.
Yeah.
Wasn't she in that band that we went to? Oh, we didn't go see her.
Lola Wolf, right?
Yeah, they opened for Warpaint.
Yeah.
It fucking sucked.
That was the show where someone diarrheaed, like, at the end of the
They
show.
Really?
It, like, cleared the house.
It was, like, during the last song or the second to last song. And we were there, and it was like, that stinks. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh, man. Moving on into some news that I'm really not excited about. A White Man Can't Jump remake is happening, with musician Jack Harlow stepping in as Woody Harrelson's character, with Kenya Barris set to direct.
Who's going to be the Wesley Snipes part?
They haven't cast him yet, but I think
Idris Elba.
Snipes and Rosie Perez have both said that they were against the idea.
I'm with them.
Okay.
That's a classic comedy. It doesn't need to be remade.
Yeah, it's a great story, and they told the story that they wanted to tell, and it's steeped in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So why would you want to just call it something else? It was the same thing with Spiral. That movie didn't need to be attached to Saw. It could have been its own thing, but they wanted to ride the coat feathers of that big franchise to, like, get people to go see it, you know?
That's stupid. White Man Can't Jump is a classic comedy.
I don't ever remember watching it.
No?
No?
It's a good movie. It's funny. I just watched it the other night because it's on Hulu.
That's a 20th Century Fox movie.
Told you. I used to watch City Slickers all the time when I was a kid. Like, of all
so
fucking
random.
movies.
That's so random.
So I probably didn't watch anything else but, like, City Slickers.
My final piece, which is pretty exciting if it's done right, because the last one was pretty bad. Producer and director Fede Alvarez is now taking on the Alien franchise with a standalone film set in the same universe as Ridley Scott's original.
Are we sure? Because they said that someone else... Well, Noah Hawley's making the Alien show for FX.
Oh, that's right. That was supposed to come out a while ago, right?
Yeah, I think it's still. I think because he's attached to Fargo. I think Fargo, the next season of Fargo, is going to come out first, sometime either late this year or early next year, and then the Alien show will come next year.
And now it's time for the weekly recommendations.
What about recommendations? Anybody?
I could give you some recommendations. You go first.
No, because I just have the one that I'm dying to watch. There's Under the Banner of Heaven.
Oh, the Andrew Garfield one.
Yeah, it's almost like this like true detective-ish type of new Hulu series that's going to be coming out.
That's a true story.
That's probably why I didn't know what you were talking about, because I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah.
It's going to be on Hulu?
Yeah.
That's a book by John Krakauer, who wrote Into Thin Air, which is about the disaster on Everest that movie Everest in 2015 had dramatized.
Okay.
And Into Thin Air is a great book, so I highly recommend you read that. I don't know about Under the Banner of Heaven. I've never read it, but I'll definitely watch the miniseries. I really enjoyed the HBO Max miniseries Station 11. Kind of a post-pandemic story. Mm-hmm. And it was based on a novel, which after watching the miniseries, I bought the novel because I was really interested in reading it. And it jumps back and forth in time and how these people who seemingly aren't connected kind of are through these 20 years that follow a deadly flu pandemic. And I really enjoyed it. It's got its moments that are a little weak, but overall, I really did like it. So I would recommend that. And then check out the book, because I'm really excited to read the book now. Also, I just watched Take Shelter. I'd never seen Take Shelter. It's great. Michael Shannon's great in it.
Oh yeah, it's like a little like that indie film.
Yeah,
Kind of.
with him and Shea Whigham and Jessica Chastain, where he's having these weird dreams of that there's going to be some kind of apocalyptic event. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of preparing for that, and then he just comes off as crazier and crazier to everyone. I had never seen it.
So basically, he plays Michael Shannon.
He plays Michael Shannon. But yeah, watch Take Shelter. It's from Jeff Nichols, who we talked about a couple weeks ago. Last month, we talked about him in January. Because he also did Loving, which is a really good movie. Mm-hmm. And Midnight Special, which is a really great thrill, and Michael Shannon's in those other two movies as well. What do you got, Wesley?
Just the one that's pretty obvious coming from me. I went to see the Batman yesterday, which was the preview night, and
which I ran into you guys there.
That's true.
I was there working it. You enjoyed it?
Yes. It gave me everything that I wanted. I liked the overall aesthetic of Gotham, the way like the art direction they went. I thought Robert Pattinson did a great job. I liked the score, the music.
Yo, man, I sat in on the first hour of it, and the Michael Giacchino score is fucking awesome.
It's great.
Especially that main title theme is great.
It meshes well. I liked all the gadgetry, of course, because it's Batman.
I was really digging the David Fincher vibe that at least that first hour had.
No, it's all the way through.
It's all the way through? That's
at least
good.
In my opinion, yeah.
I only watched the first hour because I had some other stuff to do. But I really enjoyed what I saw. I was hoping the Fincher comparisons wasn't just hype, and it really is. It feels like Colin Farrell's great. He is. He's really good. And he's almost unrecognizable. Yeah. I feel like out of everyone, obviously I'm not going to be giving any spoilers out on the show. It's not my thing. But I feel like Colin Farrell as Penguin or was it Cobblepot? Oswald Cobblepot. Is having the most fun. That chase is awesome. Yeah. That's, I don't know, maybe 90 minutes into the movie. He's doing this funny kind of like De Niro-esque accent. I agree. Can't wait to watch the rest of it. Can't wait to wait for someone to take me to watch it. 5, 4, 3,
for the movie focus of the week.
Alright, so the main focus this week is Widows. It's rated R. It's from 2018. It's a crime drama. It runs at 2 hours and 10 minutes, although it doesn't feel that
It didn't
way.
feel like it.
And it's got a very well-deserved 91 on Rotten.
That's good.
Written by Gillian Flynn, directed by Steve McQueen, starring Viola Davis as Veronica, Michelle Rodriguez as Linda, Cynthia Erivo as Belle, Elizabeth Debicki as Alice, Daniel Kaluuya as Jatim, Liam Neeson as Harry Rawlings, Colin Farrell as Jack Mulligan, Brian Tyree Henry as Jamal Manning, Carrie Coon as Amanda, Jackie Weaver as Ignacia, John Bernthal as Flurick, and Robert Duvall as Tom Mulligan. For the synopsis I wrote, after a botched robbery, a group of heistmen are killed in Chicago, leaving their wives to fend for themselves. When it becomes apparent that one of the men had stolen a large amount of money from a local politician, the still grieving widows unwillingly inherit the debt of their fallen husbands, forcing them to band together and pull off a heist of their own. The film is based upon the early 80s book of the same name by author Linda LaPlante and the BBC miniseries, this time being set in Chicago and boasting a huge ensemble cast. The film itself became an official project in 2015 with both Flynn and McQueen attached. By 2017, the cast had been hired and principal photography had started in Chicago, Illinois. 20th Century Fox released the film in November of 2018, and the film was met with wide praise and great word of mouth. With a budget of $42 million, the film ultimately pulled in $76 million worldwide. Widows is a great and original take on what we've come to expect from a modern heist thriller. Everything displayed here feels calculated and intentional, with all of its stars being cast against type, and most of the male counterparts either being killed minutes in or being portrayed as horrible human beings throughout.
As they should be.
With various twists and turns and numerous amounts of undertones, the film itself also manages to offer way more than its generic-feeling trailer. Steve McQueen's follow-up to 12 Years a Slave, which landed him an Academy Award, might be vastly different from anything the filmmaker has done this far, but it stands firm as one of the top films of 2018. I give this 5 out of 5 cute emotional support dogs. Thank you.
You should use that rating system more often.
So, Susie, obviously it's we're celebrating Women's History Month, so we've avoided talking about the movie until this show. So everything right now that's about to happen will be will be organic. So I want to know, like, what were your thoughts on the film? You had never seen it before. You're kind of unfamiliar.
I hadn't even seen the trailer.
Really?
Mm-mm.
So you went into this completely blind. You're not aware of Steve McQueen's work.
Mm-mm.
Besides this one now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious on what you thought of this.
I think you guys are just dying to know if I liked it or not.
Yeah.
Which is really funny to me. Because it doesn't matter, because you guys are just going to fucking argue with me. I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't think it was great. I think that the first half of the movie, it lacked something. I couldn't necessarily put my finger on it, but it seemed like half of the cast was fucking great, and half of the cast was kind of, someone else could have done it. I didn't give a shit about Michelle Rodriguez in it.
Really?
I did not. And I love Michelle Rodriguez, except for Fast and the Furious. Fuck that.
Well, out of the 4 leads, I think she's the weakest actor out of those 4 leads. And Cynthia Erivo is only in it only shows up about halfway through and doesn't really join them until probably the 3rd act.
Oh,
or
so
close
you're
to the
saying
3rd
you
act.
think Erivo...
But Erivo is still better than Michelle Rodriguez.
That Belle?
Yeah, that's Belle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm not saying that Michelle Rodriguez is bad in
She's
the movie,
not.
but she's the weakest actor of those 4.
Yes. Which is kind of strange.
She gets blown off screen by anything that Elizabeth Debicki is doing.
Exactly.
Well, also, I feel like it's because Rodriguez's character is intentionally, like, taking Michelle Rodriguez's, like, usual masculinity, like her tomboy.
Her toughness.
Her
Yeah.